Hi, good morning. Today we will see the problems on design of piers. Verify the adequacy of the dimensions for the pier shown in figure. The following details are available. Top width of the pier 1.6 meter. Height of pier up to springing level 10 meter. Center to center of bearings on either side 1 meter. Side batter 1 in 12. High flood level 1 meter below bearing level. Span of the bridge 16 meter. Loading on span IRC class AA tracked vehicle. Road 2-lane road with 1 meter wide footpath on either side. Superstructure consisting of what? 3 longitudinal girders of 1.4 meter depth with a deck slab of 200 mm depth. Next, rib width of girder, it is 300 mm and material of pier M15. This is the figure given. Top width of the pier is 1.6 meter and total height of the pier it is 10 meter and the side batter they have given 1 in 12 and the height of the flood level they have given, this is what HFL, eye flood level. From the eye flood level to the top of the pier, the height it is 1 meter. See, the top width it is 1.6 and the side batter it is 1 in 12 and the total height 1 meter. The first step you need to calculate is the base width of the pier, you need to calculate it. This base width. Okay. How are you going to calculate this base width means using the simple mathematical calculation. Using that is what? A similar triangle property. Okay. If you project it like this, okay, this width will be equal to what? That is the top width of the pier, that is 1.6 meter. Remaining this distance you need to calculate it. How are you going to calculate means what? Using similar triangle property, that is observe here. That is the triangle, this triangle, okay. Take this length as, unknown length as x, okay, and this vertical height it is 10 meter. The total height of the pier they have given it as 10 meter. This is one right angle triangle and the side batter they have given 1 in 12, okay, that is what base width it is 1. And the vertical height it is 12. Using similar triangle property, equate the both sides of the triangle, that is what? X divided by 1. This side of the triangle equated to this side of the triangle, that will be equal to 10 divided by 12 and calculate, that is the x value, you will get it as 0.833 meter. This is what your x value. Once you calculate that is the x value, go for base width calculation. That is base width at bottom, base width at bottom will be equal to, base width at the bottom will be equal to, that is what? The top width, the distance from here to here it is 1.6 plus x value on either side. You have calculated, that is the x value 0.833 multiplied by 2. You will get it, that is the base width as 3.27 meter. Next you calculate pier length required. Pier length required, that will be equal to, the length of the pier will be equal to what? The total length of the carriageway. Okay. Usually the width of the carriageway it is 7.5 meter. Okay. Throughout that the length of the pier you are going to provide it. Okay. That is the width of the carriageway. Take it as 7.5 plus on either side the footpath you are going to provide it 1 meter. On both the side it is okay 1 into 2. Then the pier length required it is what? 9.50 meter. Next is self weight of the pier, you need to calculate it. Self weight of pier. Okay, observe this figure. Okay, when you look it from the top, okay, the top view of the pier, it will be in this shape. Okay, it will be in this shape. Okay, this depth will be 1.6 and the width it will be 9.5 meter. Okay, then you need to calculate, that is the area at the top. Area at the top, okay, will be equal to, area at the top will be equal to, okay, observe this figure. This is what? Plan at the top. Okay, plan at the top of the pier. It consisting of what? One rectangular portion and two semicircular portion. What will be the area at the top? For the rectangular portion, area it is what? B into D plus 2 semicircular area plus 2 into pi into r square divided by 2. Substitute the value. That is what? B value it is 9.5 multiplied by depth value it is 1.6, okay, plus 2 into pi into r square it is. R square means this will be total dia. R will be, that is 1.6 divided by 2. You will get it as 0.8 square divided by 2. Okay. Upon calculation, you will get it as 7.21 meter square. This is what your area at the top. Okay, once you calculate, that is area at the top, okay, you calculate area at the bottom. Same way, area at the bottom, okay, area at the bottom, it will look same as such of that. That is what? One rectangular portion and two semicircular portion. Okay, this width, it will be, width at the bottom you have calculated, that is 3.27 and the width it will be 9.5 meter at the bottom. Okay, calculate area, same formula, that is B into D plus twice of pi r square divided by 2. Okay, substitute it. Width it is 9.5, depth it will change, that is 3.27 plus twice into pi into r value it is what? 3.27 divided by 2, that is 1.6 square divided by 2. Okay, upon simplification you will get it 39.10 meter square. This is what your area at the bottom. Once you calculate area at the top as well as at the bottom, you should calculate, that is what? Self weight. Okay, self weight is what? Area at top, area at the top plus area at the bottom, area at the bottom divided by 2 multiplied by height multiplied by density. Substitute the value. Area at the top you have calculated, that is 17.21 plus area at the bottom 39.10 divided by 2 into height of the pier it is 10 meter. Take the density as 24. Then you will get it self weight of the pier as 6757.2 kilo Newton. This is what your self weight of the pier. Next you need to calculate moment of inertia with respect to x axis. Okay, observe here this figure. You need to calculate the moment of inertia with respect to x axis. It is given by I equal to, for rectangular portion, the moment of inertia equation it is given by BD cube divided by 12 plus for this semicircular area okay, that is 2 semicircular area, the moment of inertia, it is given by pi into d to the power of 4 divided by 128. It should be multiplied by 2 because 2 number of semicircular sections are there. Okay, now substitute the value. B value it is 9.5 multiplied by D value is 3.27 cube divided by 12 plus 2 into pi into D value is 3.27 whole to the power of 4 divided by 128. Upon simplification, you will get the I value as 33.293 millimeter to the power of 4. This is what your moment of inertia I value. Once you calculate that is the moment of inertia, that is I value, go for dead load from the superstructure. Dead load from the superstructure. This dead load from the superstructure is due to what? Due to longitudinal girder and deck slab. Okay, that is dead load from the superstructure is due to longitudinal girder and deck slab of superstructure. Now you calculate that is dead load. Dead load equals to, okay, it is given by number of longitudinal girder, they are specified, that is 3 number, multiplied by width of the girder, take it as 300 mm, that is 0.3, and the depth of the girder, it is 1.4 meter, they are specified in the problem, multiplied by the total span, it is 16 meter, okay, multiplied by its density. This will be what your, that is the dead load from the longitudinal girder, plus you need to consider that is the dead load from the deck slab. Okay, dead load from the deck slab, it is given by thickness of or the depth of the deck slab, it is 200 mm, that is 0.2, multiplied by density, take it as 24, multiplied by, okay, that is width, it is B value, it is 9.5 into total span of the bridge, it is 16. This is what your, that is dead load from the deck slab. On the top of that deck slab, wearing coat you are going to provide it. Take the thickness of wearing coat as 80 mm, it will be 0.08, okay, into 9.5, that is the width, into length it is 16, okay, depth it is 0.08, multiplied by density, that is 24. Okay, this is what total dead load from the superstructure. Once you calculated that is total dead load from the superstructure, okay, that is dead load, you will get it as 1480.96 kilonewton. This is what your dead load. Okay, you need to calculate it, that is dead load from per meter length of the pier, okay, that will be equal to dead load divided by, that is width of the pier, it is 9.5, okay, that is the length of the pier. Dead load it is 1480.96 divided by 9.5, you will get it dead load per meter length of the pier, okay, that is 155.89 kilonewton. Once you calculate that is, okay, then you need to calculate design dead load. That will be equal to self weight, okay, self weight plus load per meter length of the pier, okay. Self weight is what you have calculated, that is 6757.2 plus load per meter length, it is 155.89. You will get it as 6913.09 kilonewton. Once you calculated that, calculate the stresses due to dead load. Stresses due to dead load is given by load divided by area. Load you have calculated 6913.09. Area is bottom area you need to calculate. Bottom area of the pier, it is 39.11. Then stress due to dead load is 176.76 kilonewton per meter. For per meter square it is kilonewton per meter square. Next is what you need to calculate stresses due to buoyancy. Buoyancy means what? It is the force which causes an object to float, that you call it as what? Buoyancy. Due to buoyancy, the pier get lifted up. Therefore, the stresses which are going to develop due to buoyancy, it always negative. Okay. Next you need to calculate, in order to calculate the stresses, the first thing you need to calculate width of the pier at the eye flood level. Okay, width of the pier at the eye flood level. Observe in this figure. See here, this is what the eye flood level height, that is above, that is 1 meter. At this portion you need to calculate width of the pier. Okay, from here to here it is what? This width it is 1.6, and this distance as well as this distance you need to calculate it by considering this right angle triangle. Okay, by considering this right angle triangle. Okay, using what? Similar triangle property. Okay, observe here the size side batter they have given 1/12, and this width of the pier you need to calculate it. That vertical height it is 1 meter, and the horizontal width you need to calculate, that is x value. Using similar triangle property, that is what? X by 1 will be equal to 1 divided by 12. Okay, then you will get it as x value as 0.083 meter. Okay, calculate now width of the pier at eye flood level. Width of pier at eye flood level will be equal to 1.6, that is the top width. Okay, that is 1.6 plus twice of 0.083. Okay, and you will get it as 1.76 meter. Then calculate area of the pier. Area of the pier at eye flood level. Okay, it is same as such of that formula, that is what? That is one rectangle and two semicircular area, that is what? B into D plus twice into pi r square divided by 2. Substitute the value. B value it is 1.76. Okay, with depth it is 9.5 plus 9.5 is the width and 1.76 is the depth, into pi into r square, it is 1.76 divided by 2. You will get it as 0.88 square divided by 2. Okay, and you will get it as 17.93 meters square. This is what your area of the pier at eye flood level. Once you calculate, that is the area of the pier at the eye flood level, you need to calculate submerged volume of the pier. Submerged volume of pier, that will be equal to area of pier at HFL plus area of pier at bottom. Okay, that is what your average area. Okay, multiplied by L value. Okay, area of the pier at HFL is what? 17.93 plus area of the pier at the bottom you have calculated in the earlier step, that is 39.10 divided by 2, and the total length of the pier below HFL, okay, it is 9 meter. Okay, then you will get it as 256.63 meter cube. This is what your submerged volume of the pier. Next you need to calculate reduction of weight. Okay, reduction of weight of pier, reduction of weight of pier due to buoyancy, that will be equal to weight of displaced water. That will be equal to weight, it is what, 256.63 multiplied by density of the water, take it as 10 and you will get it as 2566.35 kilonewton. Okay, next you need to calculate the stresses due to buoyancy. That is, stresses due to buoyancy will be equal to, that is what, load by area. Okay, load is what, 2566.35 divided by 39.10. You will get it as minus, it is 65.63 Newton per mm square. This is what your stresses due to buoyancy. Okay, next you need to calculate stresses due to live load. Next you need to calculate stresses due to live load. Okay, that is reaction due to live load, for, that is, class AA tracked vehicle, including impact factor will be equal to, take the impact factor as 10%. Okay, add plus 1, it will be 1.1 multiplied by the total weight of the IRC class AA tracked vehicle. As per IRC 6 it is 700. Okay, you will get it as 770 kilonewton. Okay, then calculate maximum bending moment at base. It will be what, reaction, off of the reaction it will be 770 divided by 2. You will get it as 385 kilonewton meter. Next you calculate maximum stress at the base. Okay, it is given by the formula load by area into area of the pier at the bottom plus or minus m by I into b divided by 2. That is what, maximum as well as minimum stress. Okay, maximum and minimum stress at the base. When it will be maximum, when you consider positive, when it will be negative, it will be minimum stresses. First you calculate, that is the maximum stresses, that is the load value, it is 770. Area of the pier at the bottom, it is 39.10. Take positive sign, plus m value, it is 385 into b value, it is bottom width 3.27, I value 33.29 multiplied by 2. Calculate, that is the maximum stress at the base. Okay, you will get it as 38.60 kilonewton per meter square. Similarly, calculate minimum stress at the base, that is what, 770 divided by 39.10 minus 385 into 3.27 divided by 33.29 multiplied by 2 value. Minimum stress value, it is 0.78 kilonewton per meter square. Next calculate, that is stresses due to longitudinal force. Okay, longitudinal force may be considered as longitudinal force may be taken as 20% of IRC class AA loading. IRC class AA loading. Okay, 20% it is 20 divided by 100. IRC class AA loading it is 700. Then the longitudinal force you will get it as 140 kilonewton. Okay, then calculate moment of this longitudinal forces. Okay, that is moment equals to what? Force into perpendicular distance. Okay, if we consider, observe this figure, the pier, this is what your longitudinal force, that is 140 kilonewton. Okay, the total height of the pier it is 10 meter. Okay, then your take the moment of these forces at the bottom, then it will be 140 into 10, you will get it as 1400 kilonewton meter. Then calculate moment of this force you have calculated, then calculate the stresses at the base. Stresses at the base you calculated plus or minus m by I into B divided by 2. Substitute the value plus or minus 1400 divided by 33.29 into 3.27 divided by 2. This is what your the stresses value. Upon simplification you will get it as plus or minus 68.76 kilonewton per meter square. This is what your the stresses due to longitudinal force. Next you need to calculate stresses due to water current. Take velocity of water. Take velocity of water equals to 3 meter per second. I have assumed it. And if the problem if they have specified that is the velocity of water, you need to consider that velocity. But in this problem the velocity of water they have not specified. Take it as 3 meter per second. Then calculate water pressure. Okay, water pressure it is given by 5.2 into K into V square. Okay, then take K equal to 0.66, that is the constant value, that is for semicircular. Okay, semicircular cut and ease of water. Okay, ease of water. Okay, substitute here 5.2 into K value is 0.66, velocity it is 3 square. Calculate that is the water pressure. You will get it as 30.88 kilonewton per meter square. This is what your water pressure. Then calculate area of wetted surface of the pier. Area of wetted surface of pier. Surface of pier, that will be equal to width of pier at HFL, that is I flood level, plus width of pier at the bottom, divided by 2 into height value. Substitute width of pier at HFL, it is 1.8 plus width of pier at the bottom 3.27 divided by 2 into height value, it is 9 meter. Then you will get it as 22.81 meter square. Then calculate force due to water current. That will be equal to stress into area. Stress value it is 30.88 multiplied by area, it is 22.81. You will get it 704.52 kilonewton. That is what stresses due to water current. Sorry, force due to water current. Okay. For the worst case, you need to consider the current direction as 20 degree. Okay. That is, take current direction of water as 20 degree. Then calculate force perpendicular to the pier. Force perpendicular to the pier, it will be equal to F into cos theta. F value it is 704.52 into cos of 20 degree. You will get it as 662.03 kilonewton. Okay. Next you need to calculate moment at the base due to this force. Moment at the base due to this force. That will be equal to 662.03. It is going to act at an height of 2/3 of height value. 2/3 of height, it is 9 meter. Then you will get it as 3972.23 kilonewton meter. Next, calculate stresses at base due to this force. That will be equal to plus or minus m by I into b divided by 2. That will be equal to plus or minus m value is 3972.23 divided by I value is 33.29 multiplied by 3.27 divided by 2. Then you calculate, you will get it as 195.09 kilonewton per meter square. Once you calculate all the stresses, okay, then calculate summation of all the stresses. That is what? Sigma max. That will be equal to 176.76. That is stress due to dead load, live load. Okay. Next is what? The stress due to water current. Okay. All the stresses, the maximum. Okay. That is the positive value you need to consider. Add up all the maximum stresses value, that is 195.09. that is what stresses due to water current, and the stress due to buoyancy, it is negative minus 65.63. you will get it as 413.58 kilonewton per meter square. This is what your sigma max. Next you calculate sigma minimum. That will be equal to 176.76. okay, that is what stress due to buoyancy 65.63 minus 0.8 minus 68.76 minus 195.09. okay, you will get it as minus 153.52 kilonewton per meter square. Add all the positive value in order to get sigma max, and add the stresses of negative value in order to get sigma minimum. Thank you.